Thank you very, very much, Ms. McGill, and thanks to all of you for being here today. She is right. After listening to these speakers here today, I feel kind of inadequate. And I just got to tell you, you guys are great. I always have a problem following Dr. Donaldson, but in recent years, I've been having a problem coming behind Dr. Matthews. I turned over and told Senator Rabb when he came off, I said, boy, you're getting gooder and gooder. And I want to thank him. And Roger, thank you for the battle you all are putting on up there. Cassandra, thank you so much for the invitation. And thank you so much for your friendship over the years. I'm a little bit surprised today, though, that you admitted your age for a change. She ain't been admitting that for all these years, but thank you so much for all that you continue to do. Now, you all have gotten some real history lessons today, and I've been enjoying them. And so I may not be as historical as they have been, because I think we are experiencing some things today that we may need to be reminded about a few things. Now, Kevin Washington said that he was not here on that day, but it's kind of interesting. I remember that day so well. And when you were celebrating the 50th anniversary, and I was invited to keynote, I came after getting a phone call from a reporter. And the reporter asked me, what was I going to talk about? And of course, I told him that I had not made any plans to write a speech. And I would not know what I would talk about until I got here and intermingle a little bit and listen to speakers before me, listen to the songs that are being sung. I said, but you know, I may talk about that day. And he says, well, what would you know about that day? I said, well, I was there. And he says, you were here on that day? I said, yeah, I was there. My late wife and I, at the time, of course, she was living, came over from Charleston. And so I told the reporter, the thing I remember most about that day was the fact that it was such a terrible storm that morning. Terrible storm. So much so, when we were driving here from Charleston, we had to stop in St. Stephen's because the weather was of such we could not navigate the highway. And then when we got here, we almost turned around, thinking that there's no way we're going to have this rally. We knew that people would be here from all over. But as we approached King Street, the clouds went away, and the sun started to shine through. And just that in and of itself told me that the day was going to be a blessed day. So the reporter got quiet, hung up. About 2 days later, he called me back. He said, "No, I did some research. It was a storm that day." Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because for some strange reason, this reporter was of the opinion that I was just making all that up. Didn't believe me. It's like an article I read a couple of days ago. I've just finished, well, I've published, I shouldn't say just. You know how we do in Gullah Geechee country. So just the other day, and it might have been 10 years ago. Well, back in November, I released my third book. And this person writing a review of the book talked about what a great book it was. And it read as if someone other than the author had written it. And the reporter went on, this, I guess, reviewer, went on to say she had listened to a TV presentation that I had made, and in spite of that, I knew the book very well. And reminded me of the first time I wrote a letter to the editor of my hometown newspaper, the Sumter Daily Item. I was working in Columbia at the time, and I get a letter from a gentleman who had read my letter. And he said to me in his letter how good the letter was. Who wrote it for you? Now, I'm telling you all of this because we are going through a period of time in our history. If you listen to what people are saying, if you read what people are writing, we are experiencing a new attempt at denigrating, a new attempt at suppressing, a new attempt at undermining. This that we are experiencing today is not new. That's what this book, my latest book.
The pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever God may be from my unconquerable soul. Right. In the fair of the circumstance, I have not winced, I cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and the menace of years finds and shall find me unafraid. If that is not how straight the gate or how charged with the punishment stroke, I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Praise God from whom all blessings flow, and good evening, Williamsburg County. I greet you this evening in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I bring you greetings from the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of free and accepted Masons in the state of South Carolina, where I, Linwood Gibbons, serves as the 28th most worshipful Grand Master. And to Ms. Cassandra Rush, to you and your committee, I want to thank you for inviting this big old goofy country boy to come and break bread and fellowship with you this evening. You could have chosen anyone but you chose me, and I am grateful, and I am humbled by this experience and being in the room with some of these most distinguished persons of academia, some that I've known from afar, and it's always an honor to be in the presence of Voorhees Tigers. So. Traveling with me this evening, of course, she's met my Deputy Grandmaster Wayne Davis, my Chief of Staff, Kevin Dozier, and behind every good man, there's a good woman. But there's more to that story. You see, you can go out in the street and find any woman to stand behind her. But what makes her a good woman is what she does while she's standing behind her. And when the weight of the world try to knock me down, my wife stand behind me and prop me up and say, baby, keep stepping, we got this. We keep moving. My wife, Joanne Gibbons. I'm not going to be very long this evening because it is not my goal to reinvent the wheel and tell you something new. My goal is to remind you of some things you've already heard. And somewhere in the process, someone may become inspired to have a positive impact in their community. And I believe that if all of us in this room make an attempt to have a positive impact in our communities, we can, in fact, begin to change the world. But you have celebrated this weekend, celebrating the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King coming to King Street, South Carolina, culminating with the gala this evening to honor the former HBCU presidents with ties to Williamsburg County. We need more events like this to inform the world of our history that so many are trying to erase. Amen. And coinciding with that history and this celebration, I want you to do something for me. Something that the Lord has placed on my heart to tell my people every chance I get. And what it is, if you are still using the N-word, I want you to stop using it right here, right now, this evening. When you go home this evening and say your prayers, I want you to ask the Lord to remove that word from your vocabulary. And when you go to church in the morning, your pastor asks for the altar call. I want you to take the N-word to the altar and leave it right there. Now, somebody's probably saying, what difference will that make? It makes all the difference because the N-word identifies us in a negative way. It makes a difference because not to our doing we become so brainwashed by the generational curses of slavery and Jim Crow to the point that we call ourselves the N-word. We have accepted the N-word as who we are. It makes a difference because using the N-word, we are actually discriminating and disrespecting our own selves. We're the only race of people that use a racial slur like it's some sort of badge of honor. And I don't care how you spell it out.
I call it the first 8 because it is about those 8 African Americans that served in Congress from South Carolina before me. I'm the 9th. The problem is there are 95 years between number 8 and yours truly, number 9. That was not accidental. Those 95 years that formed that gap between George Washington Murray and yours truly did not happen organically. There were some plans put in place. Hard work was done to create that 95-year gap. And we are experiencing the same kinds of court decisions, the same kinds of presidential interventions today as was done then. One of the little known parts of that history, and you hear them talk all the time, our Republican friends who tell us how proud they are to be a part of the party of Lincoln, the fact that we ought to be showing more umbrage to them because Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. All 8 of these people that I wrote about in this book were Republicans. That's not the issue. In fact, Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president. When he was murdered, his vice president became president, Andrew Johnson from Tennessee. Andrew Johnson set out to undo everything that Lincoln had done. And when he refused to do what Congress was asking him to do, instructing him to do, they impeached him. And they sent the impeachment to the Senate. The Senate failed to convict him by 1 vote. 1 vote. And because he was not kicked out of the presidency, the efforts he undertook continued all the way down to the 1876 presidential election. And in this instance, Samuel Tilden, a Democrat from New York, and Rutherford Hayes, a Republican from Ohio, were contesting for the presidency. And when the voting was over,
now it's time for our the introduction of our speaker. Today we celebrate Cecil J. Williams, a talented photographer, author, inventor, and historian from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Born on November 26, 1937, Cecil Williams discovered his love for photography at just 9 years old when he received a small camera called a Kodak Baby Brownie. By age 11, he had photographed his first wedding. As he grew up, he used his camera to capture important moments in history. Mr. Williams is best known for photographing the civil rights movement in South Carolina. His powerful images helped document important events that led to the historic Supreme Court case, Brown versus Board of Education, which ended segregation in public schools. He also photographed leaders like Coretta Scott King and even met President John F. Kennedy, who became one of his supporters. In 2019, he opened the Cecil Wrights South Carolina Civil Rights Museum in his hometown to share hundreds of photographs from the civil rights movement. The museum's theme is the South Carolina events that changed America. Through his camera lens, Cecil J. Williams helped preserve history so future generations can learn from the past. His work reminds us that one person's passion and courage can change the world. Stand with me as Mr. Cecil J. Williams is welcome to the stage, and give him an applause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before I begin, please give a round of applause to our performers here, please. I've seen them for a few minutes, but they've done a marvelous job. Please give them a round. Good afternoon, Principal Glenn, parents, administration staff, Millersham, and most important to the students, Millersham. I am very, very happy to be with you. As we bring together the close of this African American month, Black History Month. And remember in January, we brought to the end, of course, and the recognition of Reverend Martin Luther King. We've had about 2 months back on back where we have celebrated some of the success stories of we as people of color in the United States. But let me tell you a little bit about what I'm trying to do to bring to Orangeburg. Now, most of the time, when you think about civil rights, the civil rights movement of America, we always think about, of course, the things that were surrounding the life of the Reverend Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and the people of Montgomery, Alabama. But what we have not known in the past is some of the greatness that happened right here in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and right here in South Carolina itself. Some of the great things that we, people of color, did right here in this state. For example, do you realize that in 1944, a gentleman by the name of Isaac Woodard from Batesburg, South Carolina, who had just about to be released from the United States Army, got off a bus in Batesburg, and because he had been drinking and wanted to go to the bathroom one time too many, the bus driver reported him to the police. They stopped in Batesburg, and the police officer punched his eyes out, Isaac Woodard. And as tragic as that was, when the police officer was carried into a trial, in 30 minutes they found him innocent. But behind that story is this. As a result of that police officer blinding Isaac Woodard, a black soldier who got off the bus in Batesburg, South Carolina, President Harry Truman integrated the armed forces. Now, that was 10 years before there was a Martin Luther King or a Rosa Parks or the people.
See, that was after my time.
Yeah. Queen was a coach. Now, she was tough. I can remember her out there wrestling different guys at high school. And will throw you too, you know? I mean, that's just how tough she was. Then, and after Queen, I think Mr. Odom probably came around somewhere up during that time. And he kept it for a long time. Till after I finished school, he still was, you know,
working
there.
with the program.
Yeah, and he had a team now. He was a coach. Yes, sir. He was a coach. And
Who took over after Mr. Thompson as the principal of Rosemary?
it was Sam Hughes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yeah,
That's who I came
That's
up
came
when.
up with. Okay,
Yeah,
Sam.
Mr. Hughes.
Yeah. But there's nobody like Mr. Thompson. He was just
He called him the man.
the man. He was the man.
He was the man.
Yes, he was the man.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was tough.
But he wasn't tough to the point where people didn't. It seems like
Firm.
Yeah, it seems like you knew when you came around him.
You had to like
You know,
tighten up.
Get it right. You know what I mean? That's man.
See, boys were gentlemen. You had your pants up, you know.
Yeah.
It's certain, I think seniors, you had to wear ties to school, I believe. When we were seniors, you had to wear necktie and all stuff like that, you know. But you dressed, you know.
Well, I benefited from that because the products of that, the Emma Darcy's, the Miss Dozier, the Andersons, they came through that. So I tell people all the time, I got that because these were the teachers that wasn't. They'd tell you straight up, you wrong, get it right. You know, it wasn't no put your arm around you and oh no, just good you tried. No, you wrong. And so yeah, I really feel like I benefited, you know, from that. We talked a little bit last time about some of the do you remember all of the lumber mills from Andrews and where they were located at?
Over the mill. Now, over the mill was on the mill quarters. Once you cross that railroad track, going into the mill quarters, it was in a whole nother different town. Now, where the railroad, you cross the railroad track, the mill had platforms came right up to where they loaded the barrels. They made barrels, and that thing would run. The mill would run around the clock. I remember riding by that night, light, and those guys still working in there. But they made barrels and they be loading those boxcars. Loading those boxcars. Now, as soon as you cross the track, they had about 8 houses going to the left. It was a little road. Then they had them going all the way down, all the way to, what is it, Hardy Street down there?
Curve, yeah, into the curve.
Oh, Mr. Kirby, they had houses on the left. They were shotgun houses, but they were mill houses. And the people that lived in those houses worked on the mill.
Worked at the mill.
And were those people that they came to Andrews?
No,
Original from Andrews, but you just end up moving over there if you
had a job.
Gotcha.
You got housing.
Gotcha. And that's the Overton Mill. So that explains that mountain of a sawdust hill that we used to ride bikes and all that stuff on.
We used to slide down on 10.
Yeah. Wow.
On 10 slide down on it.
Wow.
It was dangerous, because that 10 would cut you if you.
Yeah.
Especially if Mama was caught us up there, you had to.
You get that tanning.
You get tightened up if you had to sneak down and go down there.
All right, that's the mill quarters. What's another mill?
Okay, you had
Brooks
Mill.
Brooks, and that was the mayor. He owned that.
He owned that.
Yeah.
He owned that.
And that's how the first mayor got here. The first mayor of Andrews, when they changed it from Harper's Crossing and the town of or the Rosemary community.
No, that was way.
That was way back then.
Yeah.
The Rosemary community and all that was way before that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was way before that.
But that's what I'm saying is that the guy W.H. Andrews, that's what brought him here was the lumber.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that's what attracted a lot of these lumbermen here.
But they started with cross ties.
Yeah, with cross tie. Yeah.
Cross ties where
For the rail.
on the Lanes Highway.
Uh-huh.
Until that train ran all the way to Lanes.
Yeah.
But they would do cross ties. Like where the park is now, they got the clean park. They used to have cross ties, the guys just straighten with the axe, shape them. They would drop the wood there and shape them, and then they put the cross ties on the train and take them back.
Okay.
All those went back to Born Lanes. They didn't get on this track and go this way. But
so
that was way before when the Rosemary and Harpertown and all that was way before that.
That's 1900s type
Yeah,
thing.
Way back then,
Yeah. So, but you said the Brooks. Did you know anybody that worked at Brooks Mill?
Yeah, it was quite a bit of. Most all of your local men.
It wasn't big as Overton though.
Yeah, no, it wasn't big.
Okay.
But Brooks, like you see like the load trucks. I can remember some of the guys hauling loads out there. Francina Brown, father, Mr. Jesse.
Mr. Jesse Brown.
Yeah, local guys would haul loads out there to Brooks. Sometimes he'd go to international paper, and that was the Logan, the Logan.
I heard Mr. Carroll C. would say something that I thought was I know his father was in the logging.
Yeah, Logan minister. Yeah.
And he said that it's strange to him to see as many white people as he see in logging today. White people wasn't into Buckwood logging back then?
They wasn't into it too much back then. It was mostly black. But
you know why? They had to load those trucks mostly by hand.
Yeah, it was hard work.
Because these had like short trucks then. They didn't have the long.
Kind of like the one Rav had. That little short truck.
And you know how they put that wood up there?
had to
Muscle it up.
Muscle man.
Wow.
So the log was probably as long as
That's it. You're right.
Young guys that worked on the Zeke and all of them.
Yeah.
Cats had muscles.
Man, they had,
The boys started young,
Wow.
and they live a long time because they was more stronger than we was. Those guys, they worked physically.
But most of them was short logging.
Yeah.
And later on, they started with the longer.
And get more mechanized.
Yeah, get more, modern time, bring on these big machines,
The craft, very few black men had contracts
Yeah.
where they could sell wood to the craft.
To the IP.
To IP.
Yeah, very few.
Stafford, Ross Stafford was one of the first one on Sanford. He was one of the first black men they got on contract, I heard, to sell wood to the to IP.
Then you had another one, Mr. Bill White.
Bill White,
Bill White from he was another one.
Mm-hmm.
It was very few now. The door wasn't open for blacks, really, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
But they made a good living at it, though, you know.
oh yeah, good living.
Because I mean, it wasn't like you said, it was hard work.
Hard work.
And it's funny to me because they got these shows now on TV, and that's what I would love to be.
Hello, this is Aaron Moore, class 2024 senior. I go to Andrews High, and I'm a wide receiver. And you are now tuned in to Welcome to Andrews Podcast. Hello, this is Aaron Moore, class 2024 senior. I go to Andrews High, and I'm a wide receiver. And you are now tuned in to Welcome to Andrews Podcast.
That was after my time.
Yeah. Queen was a coach. Now she was tough. I can remember her out there wrestling different guys at high school, and we'll throw.
There was a meat market there, and then right across the street was the fire department. I think the fire department there. That building is vacant.
Not a motel, but they got apartments up there.
Drugstore.
A drugstore.
That was
That was
Collins.
Collins was further down.
Further down, that was his.
His was right here. Was another drugstore in this corner where that car ran into the corner. Was a drugstore there. That was a drugstore. And then there was in Collier's was. Collier's was in the middle of the block, wasn't it? That was Collier's right there. You sure? Seemed like it was in the middle of the block, though. No?
Right next
Okay.
corner. Yeah, it was Collins.
Wow. What was the grocery stores at that time? That like growing up,
Well, you had Langley.
Langley.
You remember Langley grocery store?
It was across the street where that.
Off from Max.
What was that restaurant there?
Antonio.
This was the red and that section.
Yeah.
And Piggly Wiggly was right on the corner here, where this other Chinese restaurant is.
Yeah.
Right here.
On the corner. That's where Piggly Wiggly started at.
Wow.
And Red and White.
Piggly started red in that section right in there.
Red and White was what, here or next door?
Red and White was right in here someplace.
And yeah. Okay, this is Western Auto.
Western Auto was right here.
Yeah. So
That's where I bought my first bicycle for $7.
So,
Paid him $1 a week.
so Red and White was next door here.
Wow.
You know, that's it. Red and White was next door here. And,
Wow.
Yeah, got some history here, man. I mean,
And on the corner was Brewington. You had a meat market there.
yeah, that was down on another corner.
On the next corner.
Yeah.
There was a meat market there. And then right across the street was the fire department. I think the fire department there. That building is vacant there. That's where the fire truck was. The fire department.
hip hop, it's some music that I love, I listen to, but it was designed to keep black men per se in a juvenile, childish like mind state. Take, for example, what what a lot of adults are talking about now when it comes to the beef between T.I. and 50 Cent. And what was T.I.'s response to the quote unquote beef? First of all, it's all manufactured. You don't know what's real and what's fake. But I'm amazed by the energy that people put into, I'm talking about the intellectual energy that people put into stuff like that, as opposed to solving your neighborhood drug problems. Having enough wherewithal, having enough mental capacity to understand the effect on the environment that these type of people have, and understanding why they are not good to have in the environment.
All right, I'm here with sophomore Riley Jordan. Riley, tough break this season. Got an injury. Give us an update on what you got going on.
Whenever we played against Carver's Bay a couple weeks back, I suffered an ACL tear, and I got surgery coming up on the 24th of October. So that's the next goal for me. Get the surgery done and just try to recover fast as I can. Be ready for next season.
All right, man. Listen, man. Whenever you have that surgery, when you lay up in the hospital, reach out to the Welcome to the podcast. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys, we need to talk about another disturbing story involving a person in a position of trust. You see this person on the screen right here. This man is Daniel Keith Rabone, and arrested on June 30th, the pastor of Taylor Street Baptist Church in Casey, South Carolina. According to the arrest warrants cited in those reports, investigators say that Rabone was in possession of a cell phone that had what is described as
My name is Dakota, and I'm with the Rising Jets of Andrews, South Carolina.
Dakota, why do you think it's important to think about your future now?
Because before I graduate high school, I will already know what I want to do or what I want to go forth with in life.
What do you do and how did you get into this field?
I'm a realtor, and I got in the field through some school. I went to Pinnacle School. Did 2 weeks of in class. Then I did another week of advanced learning, which I did that online. Then after that was a couple of background check. Then I had to pass the state and national test. When I did that, I was good to go.
What was the biggest change you made this year?
Like making better grades than what I had last year, and staying focused.
What helped you succeed? What helped you stay focused and succeed?
I would say definitely the grace of God. Just definitely the grace of God, and then also having a plan of what you were trying to do goes a long ways too. So definitely, what my purpose is, what I'm doing. Am I trying to succeed in this career? I also want to have different adventures outside of this career. And so my thing was, I always been interested in investing. So my job was to make money and also invest at the same time. And so that's the thing that kind of kept me focused, along with doing insurance. So just, keeping God at the center, and then also different things, goals that you want to accomplish, different endeavors that you want to do.
My name is Dante Bailey. I'm a shiitake mushroom farmer from Florence, South Carolina, and this right here is a shiitake log. The wood that I'm using here is sweet gum, and pretty much you take where you see. You make drill holes, and when you drill the holes, you are doing a diamond pattern, and then after that, you take an inoculation tool and you fill each hole with substrate, and then you want to put some wax over each hole, and then after that, you want to put the logs in a location where it's pretty moist and there's not very much sun, and in about 8 months' time, you'll start seeing a fruiting body that will appear on the log, and each log produces about a half a pound to a pound of mushrooms. And after the first initial fruiting, you can take the log 8 weeks after that and submerge it into water for 14 to 24 hours. And once you take it out, about 2 days after that, then you'll start seeing the fruiting body will pin. But the more you do that, the more it degrades the log. So you have to, if you're trying to do it for production purposes, then it would be okay for you to submerge them. If you're just doing it as a homeowner, you might want to let them produce on their own. And they will produce about 3 to 4 times a year.
Okay, and so Dr., how long have you been?
Hi, my name is Keisha Kennard. I'm the founder and farmer of Sweet Grassroots Farm in Walterboro, South Carolina. And this is my husband and wonderful assistant, Charles. And we're here today at an event put on by Cadogo Farms. We were here to discuss the value-added product of sweetgrass baskets. Most people are familiar with the history, which is that our ancestors, West African, brought over the tradition to work on plantations here in southeastern America. And after the end of the plantation system, we continued this craft of making sweetgrass baskets. Baskets were used in the cultivation of rice, in particular the winnowing basket, which is over here. That was used to winnow the rice. We've continued to make other smaller items to sell as sort of supplemental income and to continue the craft, which is now generations old here in America. So I learned to make them from my mother, my mother's mother, my grandmother, and my grandmother's sister, and they learned from their elders as well. So as a result of the difficulty of getting the materials, my husband and I started growing the sweetgrass. And so we've started a farm with the emphasis of making sure that we're able to establish a place where we can always source the sweetgrass.
Because this place wouldn't be here, this farm wouldn't exist without these people that's dedicated their time and efforts and their energy to the farm. So this is called a Stone of Hope. This is where pretty much all my elders, my father, my uncles, my aunts, my grandma, these people right here, they actually came together with a grand idea to actually turn this space that our great-great-grandfather actually purchased in this area, and they turned this land into this, what we have today is Freewood's Farm. But we give thanks to these people right here, which is so important to know, your bloodline, know where you came from, and know why you're doing what you're doing. So they started out with a little idea, but now, for me, being the 7th generation of this farm or this area, Freewoods, it's very important that we take it to another height and evolve as we continue on, but it's still honoring the traditional and ancestral way. So that's very important to me, and as well, hopefully I could transfer that to not just my son, but as well to my cousins and other young adults and my peers, that they understand that it's our duty to grab the torch and carry it on, but as well, not just carry it on, but evolving and taking it to a newer height, but as well still maintaining the credibility and integrity.
For generations to come, for our children, for their children, to be able to continue the craft of sweetgrass basket. Yes, so my Facebook page is Sweet Grassroots. I also have 2 websites. I have an Etsy website that is sweetgreet.etsy.com, and my other website is sweetgrassroots.shop. So that's how you can find us online. And also, you can email me at sweetgrassbaskets@yahoo.com. This is a banner I put together with photos that I've collected.
My name is DJ Johnson. I'm the Coastal Regional Director for South Carolina State University 1890 Research and Extension Program. We cover 4 counties in the region. We cover Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester, and Georgetown. Okay? I met with Maxwell, it seems like 2 years ago she wanted to do something agriculturally, but she was trying to catch me for a year. I was transitioning from Williamsburg County to the Charleston area, okay? But we finally got together and she invited me out to the farm. And have you all been to the Cadalgo farm yet? Yes. Awesome. It was an awesome place, and as she continues to grow, I believe the coastal region will grow and South Carolina will grow because she's doing a lot of great things, especially for the small farmers, okay? Because those are looking at organic farming, and we realize that we all may have our differences in life, but we all got to do what? We've got to eat. But the question I ask everyone all the time is, what's more important, what you eat or what you digest? Oh, now I'm getting the brain of thinking. I know you're thinking because you're looking up and to the left.